Welcome to Nightmare Junkie. Tonight we have a true story about a Craigslist TV for sale that has a terrifying ending. Be sure to watch to the end. This is by far the most terrifying thing that has ever happened to me. It was on a Saturday morning. I was browsing Craigslist looking for a new TV. I saw the 80-inch smart TV listed for $120. This was a great price for this size of TV. I contacted the seller and asked if it was still available and told him that I was really interested in buying it. The nervous voice on the other side of the phone said yes, and he asked me if I would like to come by to take a look at it today. I said yes, of course. That's when he asked if I could come check it out later that night. He sent me his address, and so I looked up where he was located. He was about a half hour away, which was a little longer than I felt like driving, but I said to hell with it and went anyway. He said he worked late on Fridays and asked if I could be there around 9:30. I thought about it for a bit, but like I said, I just decided to go. I asked my friend David if he would come with me to help ensure my safety. We pulled up to this house about 9:40. The house yard looked unfriendly. There was junk in the yard and on the porch. David didn't come inside with me. I told him to stay in the car, even though that wouldn't be much help had something gone sideways. It still made me feel better knowing that someone was just right outside and that he knew where I was. I got out of the car and started towards the porch. I was quickly scanning the porch and noticed a black garbage bag under his porch swing. There was part of a white shoe sticking out of the bag. It looked like it had some small red dots on the top of the shoe. I tried to get a closer look, but the minute I started toward the porch swing, I heard the creaky door open, and a man came out. He answered almost immediately, "Hey man, how are you?" He asked me with a nervous smile on his face. "I'm good. What about you?" He then asked if I was here for the 80-inch TV. I said yes, I am. He then asked if I'd like to come inside and look at the TV. Well, of course I do. As we started to walk into the house, he asked if I had anyone with me. I said, no, why? Nothing. No reason, I was just curious. The man said he gets worried sometimes about meeting up with people because he had some bad experiences in the past. Oh yeah, I get it. I then let out a bit of a nervous laugh. In my mind, though, I was thinking about how that was such a weird question to ask someone in this certain kind of situation. I lied to him because it felt necessary, and it was dark outside. I wasn't really worried as I knew David was in the car, and that the man couldn't see him, because my window tint was so dark. We continued to make small talk for a few minutes, and then all of a sudden I heard some weird yelling. It was kind of muffled sounding though. It was very faint, but I could still hear it just slightly. What was that noise, I asked. "Oh, that's nothing, it's probably just my two boys roughhousing in their bedroom," and he pointed down the hallway. At that exact moment, I knew something was wrong, because the yelling I heard did not sound like it was coming from where he pointed. It sounded like it came from the complete opposite side of the house. Actually, almost like underneath us or something. I thought I was just being paranoid, and I didn't want to seem crazy, so I dropped it. He then nervously asked if I was okay, and said that I seemed like I was on edge. I said, yeah, I'm okay, no worries at all. Okay, good, he said. Let's take a look at the TV now, so I can get you out of here quicker. He said, just follow me downstairs. I have it set up and plugged in down there in our guest bedroom, so that way you can see it works. He opened the creaky basement door and moved his hand in such a way that implied he wanted me to go first, so I did feel a little uncomfortable, but I still felt like I was just overthinking. I noticed a foul smell immediately after the door was opened. I asked the man, what's that smell? He said there were some dead rats under his house. This made some sense to me since his house looked like it would have a rat problem. So I took my first step down the smelly stairs, and then I felt both his hands push me down the stairs immediately. I tripped and fell against the cold concrete wall as I rolled all the way down the stairs. Luckily, I didn't break any bones. I hit my head multiple times on my way down the wooden stairs. When I landed at the bottom of the stairs, I tried to get back up and gather my thoughts when all of a sudden all I saw was the man standing over me, and he didn't say a word. He just stared at me with these evil black eyes locked on me. I knew at this moment this man meant me harm. I began yelling at this guy, telling him, "I will hurt you if you don't stop." Then he swung a crowbar at me, but somehow I managed to dodge it. I then started kicking him in the stomach as hard as I could. I didn't care. I kept kicking him harder and harder. I kicked him so hard it felt like I broke his ribs. I grabbed the opposite side of the crowbar that he was holding as he bent over trying to catch his breath, and I whacked him right in the head as hard as I could with it. His dark black hat he was wearing went flying. He quickly dropped to the ground and wasn't moving. I figured I knocked him out. I wasn't sure if I killed him or not, but I wasn't taking any chances. I got up and ran up the stairs as quickly as possible, screaming for help. I was almost at the top of the stairs when I heard that yelling again that I heard before. It was coming from the basement, but I couldn't bring myself to go back down there and investigate it further. I was too terrified and didn't know if there were more bad people in this house. I just had to leave. I ran through the kitchen and then through the living room to the front door. I then jumped over the porch and headed to the car as quickly as possible. Once I got in the car, I started telling David what had just happened and told him we needed to call the police fast. I was freaking out and started hyperventilating while trying to explain everything to David. Then I told him how I thought there was someone else down there in the basement who had been trapped down there or something. I told him something is not right and we need to get the police here fast. My heart told me to go back and to try to help whoever was down there, but I just couldn't. My body was going into shock and I couldn't move. David drove us away from the house to a gas station right up the road. The gas station was closed. David quickly called the police and told them where we were. The police showed up to the gas station very quickly. It seemed like forever, but was less than 5 minutes. I tried to explain to them everything that just happened, but I was still in shock and my words were not making sense. David took over and explained to them what I told him earlier. David and I drove back to the man's house and showed the police where this went down. We waited out there by the end of the man's driveway for one of the officers to come out and to talk to us. We told them our side of the story and wanted to see what was going on. 2 more police cars arrive on the scene about 5 minutes later. 2 more policemen entered the house, and once they came back out they said, the man was still passed out on the ground at the bottom of the stairs. The police put him in cuffs, and he was taken by an ambulance to the nearby hospital. I don't know all the charges he was being charged with, but he'll be getting locked up in prison for a very, very long time. Maybe even a life sentence, because the police said that this man has a very lengthy past, and they are still investigating his case. The police told David and I that the man had 2 other people in the basement locked away into 2 separate cages that your average dog would fit in. He had been torturing them. The police did not go into complete detail about what they found. There is not a single hour that goes by that I haven't thought about this traumatizing event I went through. I've been going to a therapist, and though he helps me a lot, I'm still really messed up from it all. It haunts me every single day of my life. I've been put on Prozac for my anxiety. I just want it all to go away. Every day is a battle for me right now, but I'm trying my best to stay positive. All I know is that I will never go into anyone's house. that I don't know personally. Thank you for watching Nightmare Junkie. If you enjoyed this true scary story, be sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss any of our new weekly scary story videos.